Thank you. So Rose obviously done a little bit of an introduction about MobileMuster as the product stewardship scheme of the mobile phone industry. And today I want to talk a little bit about how MobileMuster has certainly evolved over the last 20 years to becoming more than just a take-back program. So the change over time, I think, is a natural evolution for us. Consumers are demanding more of us when it comes to how they manage their devices, but also our members are looking at ways of how they can actually bring greater value to their customers. So when MobileMuster started, it was about providing a free take-back program for consumers, basically stopping mobile phones and accessories from ending up in landfill. What I don't want to do is overlook the initial role of the program. And MobileMuster, in a way, I guess, was ahead of its time when it actually came to life. So even before legislation was in place in this country. So back in 1998, the three market leaders at the time, which were Telstra, Nokia and Motorola, voluntarily came together to implement a free take-back program for unwanted mobile phones, along with basically everything that goes with a mobile phone, so that any accessories, chargers and batteries are all covered under the scheme. And it continues to do that today as an accredited voluntary scheme under the Product Stewardship Act. So I guess the results speak for themselves. Over the last 20 years, the program has collected and recycled close to 1,400 tonnes of mobile phone components, and that also includes over 300 tonnes of mobile phone batteries. And today its members, I'm happy to say, represent over 90% of the industry. So that includes all of the major handset manufacturers, and also the network carriers. And the program's quite unique in the sense that it does include the network carriers, which is Telstra, Optus and Vodafone. So for us, this has all been achieved by establishing a solid collection network, and I think that's important in terms of when you think about accessibility, how easy it is for consumers to recycle. And we do that with over 3,500 public drop-off points, including 1,500 retailers and 370 local councils around the country that actually participate and collect for us. Plus, along with that, we have a free postback service where you can pick up a reply paid satchel distributed through Australia Auspost outlets, or all of the Australia Post stores. So for us, it is about accessibility. It's about making it easy for mobile phone users to manage their devices no matter where they are in the country. But what has become evident for us over time is that the industry, we see that the program plays two crucial roles. One is in providing the network and the infrastructure for mobile phone users to safely dispose of their old unwanted mobiles. And the other part of that is how do we actually raise awareness? So how do we educate consumers on how to better manage those devices? I just want to talk a little bit about what consumers are doing and how behaviour has actually changed over the last 20 years. And that has actually significantly changed. So more of us are actually holding on to these devices longer than ever before, and more people are reusing them by passing them on to friends and family. We estimate that 1 in 10 Australians sell or trade in their mobile phones, and 1 in 6 will actually pass them on to friends and family. And we predict that these figures will actually increase over the next few years as the maturity of the reuse market grows in Australia. So at MobileMuster, we see this as an opportunity in helping consumers better manage their devices. So extending the life of a mobile phone extending the life of a mobile phone is an important principle of product stewardship and developing the circular economy. And this is an area we are certainly looking to become more involved in. We're also seeing that the change in the design of these devices today means that we are holding on to them longer than ever before. The idea that you can actually update your software without actually updating the hardware, I think, is an important principle. The material used in production, we've also seen that change over time, so moving away from plastics to more aluminium casing and metals. But we're also still seeing that the recyclability rate remains high at 99%. The other space that manufacturers are playing in, obviously, when it comes to design, is energy efficiency. The idea that you can actually charge your phone up in less than 30 minutes to 100%, I think, is a massive leap in design principles over the last 20 years, certainly over the last 20 years. But the other thing to sort of acknowledge in this space is the cost of these devices is probably more expensive than it ever has been before. So we are spending more on them. If you look at the top-end devices, they're $1,000 to $1,500. that in itself is enough for consumers to have a vested interest in holding on to them longer, but also in having an interest in repairing them. What we've seen is the registration of repair shops in our collection network. We have over 125 repair stores that now participate in the program and send us on a regular basis volume as part of their repair processes. So there's two areas that I want to talk about. One is raising awareness and what we're doing in that space, but we're actually investing in raising and educating consumers about the management of their devices. But in particular, and something we've been doing for quite a while, is the education space. So what we're seeing is students are receiving their mobile phone devices younger than ever before, and parents are actually driving this behavioural change as they want their kids, I guess, to be contactable, and it creates that sense of security. So this year at MobileMuster, we're building on growing our education program. We've always had a program in place, but we're at a point where we're looking to reinvest in that program and actually update it. And we're further developing the program, and we're calling it Mobile Connections. And this will allow students to look at their personal connections to mobile technology and the impact it has on the broader community, the economy and the environment. And so it will also encourage students to take action for a sustainable future. The resources that will actually make up the package will include a handbook that aligns to the national curriculum, and will actually have 26 lesson plans outlined in that handbook for teachers. Along with that will be video resources, professional development for teachers, a resource recovery calculator, an interactive quiz, and that will all help bring together all the learnings for students. I just want to take some time and show you two of the videos out of that package to give you a bit of a feel for the language and the messaging that we're actually trying to get across.
Unlike our food, mobile phones aren't biodegradable, which means they won't break down in nature. They can actually harm the environment if you put them in the rubbish bin. Through recycling, all the materials that have gone into making your phone can live on. So what is recycling and how does it work? Well, recycling converts something that is a waste into a resource. To recycle a mobile phone, we need to separate and sort all the materials by manually taking it apart or with large shredding machines. These materials are then further refined so the resources can be recovered. The components containing metals go through a smelting process where they are heated to very high temperatures in a furnace. This means that the good stuff, like the gold, silver and copper, can be recovered and reused. And just before you get too excited thinking that your phone contains a gold mine, it actually takes around 100,000 phones to extract 1 kilogram of gold. Lithium, cobalt, nickel and cadmium are recovered from batteries. The glass is recycled. Even the plastics in your phone are recycled. This reduces the amount of crude oil that goes into the production of new plastic. Allowing these materials to have many lives is critical to creating a sustainable and circular economy. We have to be smart and not wasteful with the materials we use if future generations are to enjoy the benefits they bring to us.
I might let me just skip back a page.
Mobile phones are everywhere, from you to your family to your friends. They're incredibly useful in our day-to-day lives. But what happens when they break? Or we stop using them? Where should they go? The easiest thing might be to keep your old phone at home. But it's important to extend its life where you can. Sometimes we can give our old mobiles to family and friends, sell or trade them in when we upgrade. This is a good way of making sure it can be used again. If you sell or donate your phone, ask lots of questions and make sure it's going to a country that can recycle it and doesn't become an e-waste problem. When your phone reaches the end of its life and no longer works, it's really important that it's recycled responsibly and never just thrown into the rubbish.
So that, I guess, just gives you a little bit of a feel of what the resources look like. We're making these resources available free to schools and local councils. So if you are a local council and you participate with schools in your local area, then certainly reach out to us and we can supply the resources. All these resources will actually be available on our website, and we're actually aiming to have them uploaded to the website before the end of this month. Let's just get to that. The other area I want to sort of talk about, which we are heavily focused on in the coming year, is partnerships. And what that is about for us is how we work with other schemes and programs to deliver a solution for consumers and our collection partners. In the space of local councils, what we're seeing is residents more than ever are turning to their local councils for solutions to their e-waste problems. With changes in policy at state and federal levels, MobileMuster is continually exploring opportunities to develop extended solutions to help councils meet their obligations, plus help us raise awareness of mobile phone recycling, obviously. One such example is our joint collection unit with EnviroStream. For those of you who might not be aware, EnviroStream are a local battery recycler based out of Victoria, and they've established an onshore processing facility, which I think just highlights the innovation that can potentially happen in our own backyard. Together we've developed there's a picture of it up there, but we've developed a joint collection unit for local councils that not only collects mobile phone components, but it also collects all types of batteries, including button cells, alkaline and power tool batteries. The units are initially being rolled out in Victoria to help get local councils ready for the e-waste ban that takes effect on 1 July 2019. But we do have plans to roll them out nationally, trying to bring on to major retail partners to facilitate the service. The program, we do market research every year to test attitudes towards mobile phone recycling, and one of the things we wanted to test this time around was the appetite for consumers to have other products recycled. Batteries was at the top of the list, and so it just highlights how important it is to actually get a scheme up and running that can handle the waste. The other thing I would also note in terms of our own collections, 12% of what we actually collect through our network is we call contaminated product. So it's out of scope for the MobileMuster program, and that includes modems, landline phones, tablets, other electronic waste. So this is why I think partnerships are really important, and it's how we actually work with other schemes to be able to deliver a service to consumers, because they've certainly got an appetite to want to recycle this product. So where to next for us? Mobile phone technologies is certainly changing rapidly, and it's important that the program continues to evolve to meet expectations, our stakeholders' expectations, and that includes consumers, our members, and also government. So in the coming year, we want to look at, to develop, what we are developing is tools and resources to help consumers deal with some of the barriers when it comes to recycling, such as data management. I think it's a common theme that we hear when we're dealing with e-waste, and certainly heard a couple of presentations and talking to other schemes, that data seems to be one of the barriers and will only continue to grow as we're doing more and more on these devices than we ever have before. So one of the areas that we certainly want to play a role in is developing some tools and resources to help consumers make those informed decisions to better manage their data, to transfer it, to delete it before they sell it or recycle it. So, I think from a MobileMuster perspective, it's important that we understand that reuse is an important part of the life cycle of a device. The Internet of Things will see more devices than ever before being connected to mobile networks. So for us, this creates an opportunity to expand our product scope, and recently we introduced the introduction of accepting smartwatches back into the program. And it's not a one-off campaign for us, it's ongoing. The program has been around for 20 years. We've invested $42 million in the program, but what we know is that consumers are still hoarding those devices. 23 million are sitting in drawers and cupboards around the country. 5 million of those are actually broken, but we're still holding on to them. So it is a long journey for us to obviously increase recycling rates. Thank you.